بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، السؤال: سمعت بأن التكبير يكون ليلة عيد الفطر حتى انقضاء صلاة العيد، بينما التكبير في عيد الأضحى يكون خلال أيام الأربعة. السؤال: مدى صحة هذا الكلام، مع أملي بأن تدعم الإجابة بالأدلة الواضحة، وجزاكم الله خيرا. Question says, I heard that the takbirs should take place on the eve of Eid al-Fitr at night, the day before the Eid, the Maghrib and the Isha, before the Fajr of the day of the Eid, the eve. And the reason why I'm stressing this, many basic English terminologies we're unaware of. Even if you're not really a smart person or you don't read much, but just basic English, oftentimes we don't actually know what it means, the word evening, night, and the differences between the two. The eve is the night before the day of that event. And many people, when they read Arabic, they study Islam, and they're not that strong in English, then it becomes even more confusing. And they take an Arabic or Islamic concept or terminology and force it upon English. That's when things get mixed up. Arabs may say Laylat al-Jum'ah, Masa al-Jum'ah, but that doesn't necessarily be the equivalent of eve or night in English. So somebody says, I heard that the takbirs for the Eid al-Fitr prayer should begin on the eve of Eid al-Fitr. And the takbirs should be made all the way until the prayer is done. So that would have been Tuesday night, last night, from Maghrib, all the way up until 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. And I've also heard that the takbirs for the Adha prayer, the Adha Eid, should be within a 4-day range, 4 days. How authentic and how sound is this? And please, he says, please provide your answer with strong proofs and evidences. Jazakumullahu khairan. Al-Ijaba. Alhamdulillah, as-salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa alihi wa sahbihi, amma ba'd. فالتكبير في العيدين سنة وهو آكد في الفطر لقوله تعالى ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. ووقته في الفطر يبتدئ من رؤية هلال شوال، أي غروب الشمس آخر يوم من رمضان. قال ابن عباس: حق على المسلمين إذا رأوا الهلال أو إذا رأوا هلال شوال أن يكبروا. وينتهي التكبير في الفطر بخروج الإمام إلى الصلاة. قال ابن قدامة قال أبو الخطاب: يكبر من غروب الشمس ليلة الفطر إلى خروج الإمام إلى الصلاة في إحدى الروايتين. وقول الشافعي: وفي الأخرى إلى فراغ الإمام من الصلاة. انتهى. وقال مالك: يكبر عند الغدو إلى الصلاة ولا يكبر بعد ذلك. والراجح هو القول الأول ومذهب الجمهور، ويكون التكبير في الفطر مطلقا غير مقيد، فيكبر في السوق وفي الطريق وفي البيوت والمساجد ونحو ذلك. وأما الأضحى فالتكبير فيه مطلق ومقيد، فالمقيد يكون دبر الصلوات من صلاة الصبح يوم عرفة إلى عصر آخر أيام التشريق، والمطلق في جميع الأوقات ولا يخص بمكان، فيكبر في السوق وفي الطريق ونحو ذلك. وزمنه من أول هلال ذي الحجة إلى آخر أيام التشريق، لقوله تعالى: ليشهدوا منافع لهم ويذكروا اسم الله في أيام معلومات. والأيام المعلومات هي أيام العشر، والمعدودات هي أيام التشريق، وأيام التشريق هي 3 أيام بعد يوم الأضحى. وقال القرطبي: وقد روي عن ابن عباس أن المعلومات العشر والمعدودات أيام التشريق، وقول الجمهور والله أعلم. Answer says, Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Takbir during the 2 Eids is recommended. It's recommended. It is not obligatory. You don't have to, but you should. It's a good thing to do. Based off of Allah Azza wa Jall's statement in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ, and for you to complete the month, and for you to magnify Allah and praise Allah, say Allahu Akbar, for He has guided you, and for you to be thankful. They say here in this fatwa is that the takbirat during Eid al-Fitr are stronger, and they are more important and even more legislated than in Adha. Answer then says, as far as when do the takbirs begin, then they should begin during the Fitr Eid, when the moon is sighted for Shawwal, meaning sunset of the last day of Ramadan. Well, some people spotted the moon last night here in the United States. That's been confirmed. And most people didn't sight the moon, and they went with the completion of 30 days internationally or other countries, so on and so forth. So at the end of Shawwal and the beginning of Ramadan, that evening, that's when the takbirat should begin. The takbirat should begin at that time. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, and then he goes on, he said, Haqqun al-Muslimin. He says that the Muslims, when they see the crescent, the new crescent moon, they should make takbir. Haqqun al-Muslimin. It then states, and the takbir, it should stop when the imam comes out to pray. When the imam comes to lead the people in prayer, rahmakallah, that is when the takbirat should end. Then he quotes Ibn Qudama, who quotes Abu Khattab. These are some Hanbali scholars here, scholars of the past, is that a Muslim should make takbir from sunset of the eve of Laylat of Eid al-Fitr until when the imam comes out to meet the people, to lead the people in prayer. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala, he said this once. And this is also what Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala said. Another time Imam Ahmad said, when the imam finishes the prayer. So some scholars say that the takbir stop before the prayer. And others say after the prayer, one of the two. Moving forward, he then states, Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, is that a Muslim should make takbir from the morning time until the prayer. And he should not make the takbir after the prayer. It's done, it's over, finished. All right, moving forward. And the first interpretation, they say, is the most correct interpretation, which is the understanding of most of the scholars, when the imam comes out and not after the prayer is done. All right. Now, how do you make the takbirs during this Eid? They say is that this Eid, the takbirs are to be general, unrestricted, i.e. they do not and they should not be after every prayer, but you make them at will. Mutlaqan. You walk in, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You're driving, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You're in the marketplace, in your home, you're in the kitchen, etc. You make takbir without any restriction. As far as doing the second Eid, Eid al-Adha, then it's both, restricted and unrestricted. You make takbir all of the time within a 4-day span. From the 10th, the day of sacrifice, the Eid, 11th, 12th, 13th. And you also make the takbirat after the 5 daily prayers, all the way up until Asr of the final day of the 13th of the Tashriq. So let's repeat that now. What's the difference between restricted and unrestricted? During this Eid, they say, is that the takbir should be what?
Unrestricted.
Meaning you make them whenever, anywhere, any place. And they are not to be attached after or to the 5 daily prayers. I would understand this. During the second Eid, Eid al-Fitr, which is the bigger Eid, the longer Eid, then you make the takbirs when? Both. Freely and after the prayers. They stop at Asr on the last day. So it's a 4-day Eid basically. Second Eid is how many days? 4. The 10th of Dhul Hijjah, that's the day of the Eid. And then what? 11, 12, 13. So you're going to make the takbirs whenever you want to, how you want to. And also, they say after the salawat. Eid al-Fitr is what? Unrestricted. So that would mean Maghrib, Isha, and Fajr, you should make the takbirs after those prayers on this Eid, correct? Incorrect.
When you walk to the Matuma,
No, ما في بعض الصلوات مطلق غير مقيد. You understand the trick question? You only have 3 prayers to make them. The time period is what I'm trying to say. Maghrib comes in, Isha, and then what? Fajr. The next prayer that you're going to make on the day of the Eid is what? Zuhr. By then the takbirs are what? They're done. But it doesn't mean that you make the takbirs after those prayers religiously, specifically. Everyone understand the difference? And I say shoot at will, or say fire. There's a difference between the two, right? When I say fire, you what? You fire versus everyone understand the difference. We're talking about English now once again. English, once again, not Arabic, not Islam, English. Restricted versus unrestricted. طيب, not unrestricted. Naam, طيب, wallahu ta'ala alam. His fatwa here is coming from islamweb.net. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.